So this is a story on how I got scammed for $5,000, and why it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. it's so I'm not gonna mention any names, just to be respectful. Weird, right? Be respectful to the person who scammed me. But I'm just not trying to air out that person's dirty laundry. So I joined a program, right, to get coaching. Okay. And for the people very, very close to me, they'll know exactly what happened when I say this. But for 99% of everyone else, they will have no idea what I'm talking about. But they'll still get the story. So I joined this program, and it was to be coached in solar. So I'm paying $3,000 a month, which is a great deal because my previous coach was $5,000 a month, and that doesn't sound like that big of a difference. But my previous coach, I was paying $12.50 an hour. The coaches I have now, I pay $2.50 an hour. So much better price, and the coaching is the same quality. So it's actually more now. It's actually better now. But we'll get to that. But anyways, so I joined this program to get coached. It's $3,000 a month. It's $2.50 an hour. So I get 3 calls a week, right? 750, 15. Yeah. So 3 calls a week that are an hour apiece. Okay. And there's 4 different coaches. So I get a different coach a week, right? Which conceptually makes a lot of sense. In practice, it sucks. We'll get to that. But so the first coach I have, I'm very new to the industry, right? First coach I have says, "Hey man, you should buy these leads. These are aged leads. You should buy these leads. People do like $1,000, $3,000. You should do 5." And a trait of mine is I blindly trust. I'll blindly spend money, which I think is going to take me very far. Imagine me watching this video in 10 years, and it's I'm worth $100 million. That would be pretty awesome. I'd blame it on that quality to not only invest in myself, but to because I do that, and I know my friends think that of me. I know I think that of myself, but there's a different degree that I do it to, in my opinion, compared to the average self-developmenter, like someone who self-develops himself. So I just send him $5,000, right? And I get the leads I think a week or 2 later. And it was a week later. And it was really sketchy because once I sent him the money, he was like, "Hey man, yeah, just don't tell anybody about this." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" Hit him with a little Drewski. What do you mean by that? I was like, "What?" And he just kept reiterating that I shouldn't tell anybody about it. And then what really caught me was the end of the coaching with him for that week. He was like, "Yeah, man, so just tell the next coach we did this, 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 and this." Of that, which we didn't do. So he was telling me to do all of these things. Well, he was telling me to tell the next coach that we did all of these things, which we didn't do. So I was like, "Hey, bro, I've been thinking about these leads. I don't know how I feel about them. Can you send me the money back?" Don't hear anything from him, right? And I'm like, maybe he's just busy. Maybe he'll get back to me. So then I start, right, the second week of coaching with the new coach. And they're like, "Hey, what'd you do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to throw this person under the bus, but I feel really fishy about it because I told him, I was like, 'Hey, man, I think this would really affect my coaching, don't you? If what I do with the first coach, I cannot tell the second, third, and fourth coach. I feel like that's going to impact my coaching. I don't feel like you're looking out for my best interest." So I tell the second coach everything. They end up firing this coach. It's been 5 weeks now, 6 weeks now since this incident has happened. I'm not going to see the money back. I haven't even used the leads. He's probably already used them, or something like that. But why this is the best thing that's happened to me is because the person who I really wanted coaching with was the guy who runs and owns this program, and I'm so glad that what happened with the first coach happened, because now the guy who owns the program said, "Hey, I'm just gonna give you like this for free. I'm gonna hook you up with this," and he completely recreated a new program just for me. I'm the only person in it, and the value is immense. It's so immense that I'm gonna hit 150K a month in the next 12 months, which is amazing to me because I 7x'd my income last year, right? And I say 7x, that's kind of clickbait, because the first month of the year I made $3,000, and I took it to over $20,000 in the same year. It was actually in like 8 months. It was like in 8 months, which was pretty awesome. But I've made more than $20,000 before, so it's misleading. But I 7x my income. And this year I'll hit 80K a month before the end of the year. I'd say 150, and I'm not saying 150 not because I don't believe I can hit it, but because I was talking to this coach. How should I go about it? And it brought me back to the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I was more concerned with going fast. So I could hit 150 a month on my own. I would have no life, which I don't like. I just noticed. I don't like what people, because that's what other people say. That's not what I say. This is my life, and I like that. I love that. and as Hermosi would say, and that's okay. It's like, why am I going to sit here and live my life to the definition and standards of what everyone else think I should live my life to? And I'm becoming more and more comfortable with that. I'm in therapy, which is great, by the way. I'll make another video on that. But the purpose of this video was, all my life, I feel like, not all my life, but I feel like when you play the game, you're just going to get screwed over. And I don't feel like people tell other people enough, But I was watching this video with Hermosi where I believe he said, if you're going to make 100 million, you're going to lose a couple million along the way, And it's like, I feel like that's just a part of the game. I was talking to a good friend of mine about investing into himself, and it's like, dude, you're gonna lose. If you want to get to 10 grand a month, you're gonna lose $1,000 or $2 along the way. If you want to get to 100K a month, you're gonna lose, tens of thousands of dollars along the way. And I've lost 10 grand, and it's only April. It just turned April today. April Fool's. This is not an April Fool's joke, by the way. This is all real. I almost lost 20 grand. I was very lucky to have the first coach return the other 10 grand to me, because I wired him 15 for coaching for 3 months. It was just way too expensive. Did not make financial sense, and it got pretty ugly during the conversation we had when I said, "Hey, man, you can keep the first month of coaching, but I don't want the other 2 months." So, but I just wanted to. Basically, the message of this video is, you're gonna get fucked over, and that's just a part of the game. It will come back to you. It will come back to you. It will come back to you. Because I'm now seeing that. It might take 10 years, 11 years for you to finally feel that way. And you might never feel that way. That could be a reality for some people. But my experience has been that it's come back to me. And man, I had a friend who said something, and it really hit me to my core, and I didn't tell him this at the time. But he said, "You of all people deserve it for it to come back to." And that really hit a soft spot inside of me, because I never thought that. So that really meant a lot to me. Because I'm starting to feel that same way, you know, where I do deserve it. And this is just a message to myself that I didn't see it in the moment. I was furious. I was actually fuming. I was thinking about doing some very illegal shit, but I didn't. But yeah, it was well worth it to get fucked over like that, because what's coming back to me now, and just for you guys to understand the dynamic, the owner of this company is one of the coaches. And then there are 3 other people that I'm coaching with, so 4 coaches total. One of them owns it. The other 3 work for the company. One of the coaches, the one coach that fucked me over, worked for the company. So the owner felt very bad and wanted to do whatever he could to make it up to me. And now he's going out of his way to help me. And I truly believe, I don't even believe, just from seeing how the coaching has gone with him over the past week, like it's going to change my life. It's going to change my life. And I will look back on this in a year, and you know, it's going to be true. Like I'm certain of it. I'm very certain of it, because I can tell this guy's a very good guy, you know. So yeah, that's the video. You're gonna get fucked over, and that's okay. That's a part of the game. Don't let that stop you from playing the game.